Morning, everyone. May I request all our grade 9 students to please turn on your camera so we can start our session this morning. Once again, requesting all the grade 9 students to please turn on your camera so we can already start today's discussion. Thank you. Mga grade 9, paki-open na ang inyong mga camera para magsimula na tayo. Thank you. Those who are using laptops, I sent the virtual background yesterday. Please use the virtual background. So we only have 3. Samantha, Maristela, Matocampo, Joanna, Jonas. Jonas, please show your face. Hananika, Mark Theo, paki-check mo yung wala kang green green board. How about the others? Please open your camera so we can already start our session. Okay. Joanna, pakilista mo yung mga naka-open lang yung camera, no? Joanna, can you hear me?
Okay po, sir.
Thank you, thank you. You use our virtual background if you are using laptop. Ayan, no? And then also, I guess meron din sa cellphone yan. You just explore the Zoom para magamit ninyo yung ating virtual background. Right. So this session is recorded for the benefit of those who will not be able to attend today's session. We are already 28. May I request Mark Theo to please lead the prayer before class.
Father God, come with us today. Fill our hearts with joy. Fill our minds with learning. Fill our classroom with peace. Fill our lesson with fun. Fill our school with love. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Please allow me to share my screen. I'm asking you to open your camera because our next activity will require all of you to open your camera. Okay. As in the Zoom, our session for today is all about the applications of quadratic equation, because you already know what quadratic equation is if you study and learn from the videos that I sent previously. Okay, so let's start our activity by answering this question. How are you today? How are you now? Okay, so I will be putting you on spotlight. Pag na-spotlight kayo, you have to answer the question, how are you today? Okay, so tignan natin sino ang mai-spotlight for everyone. We have Charles Gabriel. How are you today, Charles?
Sir, I'm very fine.
Why? Why do you say that you are very fine? What are the reasons?
Sir, I'm very happy to see you again in our class.
Thank you. I'm very happy to see you again also. Let's have another one. Let's see who will be spotlighted. Please open your camera. So we have John Marlu Abelion. John Marlu, how are you today?
Good po.
Why? What is the reason why you are feeling good today? Please show your face into the camera. Okay. Bakit good ang nararamdaman mo ngayon?
Because
Because
God gave me another day po.
oo, ayan, at bagong gising, ano. Iyo, nasa kwarto ka ba, Jan, Marlu?
Opo.
Alright, let's have another one. So, spotlighted, Samantha, how are you today?
Fine po.
Why are you fine?
Because I'm still healthy despite of the pandemic po.
Correct, ayan. Who else? Let's see. We have Hannah Grace. How are you today? Hannah Grace, we cannot
Okay
see
lang
you.
po.
Noo mo lang nakikita namin. Please show your face in the camera. Thank you. How are you today? Nakamute ka, Hana. Nakamute ka. Nakamute si Hana. Alright, balikan natin si Hana. This time, let's have, tignan natin sino ang may spotlight ng ating randomizer. Sino ang nasa spotlight? We have Maria Danica. Danica, how are you today?
I'm okay, sir.
And then why?
Kasi po hanggang ngayon po, wala pa din po ang COVID tsaka po yung pamilya ko.
Correct, tama yan, ano? Yan. Thank you, Hana. Let's have another one. We add into the spotlight. Sino ang na-spotlight? We have Lian Jaira. Lian, how are you today?
I'm doing well po.
Bakit?
Because God has given me another day to learn new things po.
Very good. Okay, thank you. Dun sa iba, please answer the question, how are you today? And always find a good reason why are you still here today. So we proceed already with our lesson. As I mentioned, our lesson is all about the application of quadratic equation in reality. Hindi lang natin pinag-aaralan ng quadratic equation for you to have some mathematical activities, but also we are learning quadratic equation because it has an application to the real life. All right, so here is an example of a problem that we can apply quadratic equation. Will you please read our problem? Can I request Samantha Nicole? Samantha, please open your camera. Samantha Nicole Espinosa. Sam. All right, please read our problem.
Three consecutive natural numbers are such that the square of the middle number is 15 more than the sum of the other two. What are the numbers?
All right, so that's our problem. There are three consecutive natural numbers. First, let us review what natural numbers are. Ano ba ang ibig sabihin ng natural number? When we say natural numbers, these are the counting numbers. So ano yung counting numbers? When we study or when we start learning numbers, this is the first type of number that we learn, the natural numbers. Ano ang ibig sabihin ng natural numbers? Natural numbers are the counting numbers. So when we count, we start with, saan tayo nagsisimula kapag tayo ay nagbibilang? We start with 1, correct? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So those are the natural numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on and so forth. Meaning, all the positive numbers are the what we call natural numbers, the counting numbers. Tandaan yan, ano? 3 consecutive natural numbers daw. Ibig sabihin, 3 magkakasunod na numbers. Okay, so let's start solving this problem. So i-set aside natin yung problem. Here is the problem. And the first thing that we have to know in solving problems, dapat naiintindihan natin yung problema. Kasi kung hindi natin naiintindihan yung problem, then we will not be able to answer it correctly. Okay. So like for example, if we do not know what natural numbers are, tapos na no, hindi na natin talaga siya masasagot kasi hindi natin alam na ang natural numbers pala are the numbers that starts with 1 up to infinity, which are the positive numbers. Tapos ito ang sabi niya, these are the condition are such that the square of the middle number, so we need to have our middle number first. So let the middle number be m. Yan. So halimbawa, yung middle number daw natin m. So you can use different variables from A to Z, but this time we use m para mas madaling matandaan, ano? Since we are referring to the middle number, so we use letter m. So if the middle number is m, paano mo makukuha yung dalawang nasa gilid niya? So halimbawa, yung m ay 5. Ano yung mas mataas sa kanya? 6. Ano yung mas mababa sa kanya? 4. So ibig sabihin, para makuha natin yung dalawang nasa gilid ni middle number, mag-a-add tayo ng isa sa kanya at magsusubtract tayo ng isa sa kanya. Okay, so to get the two numbers wherein m is in between. So ito na ngayon yung ating three consecutive natural numbers. M is the middle number here. M is the middle number, and to get the number at the right of m, we add 1 from m. So you'll have m plus 1, and then to get the number lower than m, you subtract 1 from m. So you will have this algebraic expression m minus 1. So we already have three consecutive natural numbers which are m minus 1, m, saka m plus 1. So tatlong magkakasunod na numbers na yan, natural numbers. But the thing is, we are using algebraic numbers since we do not know yet the exact value of the number. So ganun yun eh. No? Kaya gumagamit tayo ng algebraic expression is that to represent unknown values of the numbers. Kaya natin siya ginagamit. Okay? So halimbawa, gumagamit tayo ng x para i-represent ang isang number na hindi pa natin alam. Okay? Pwede rin naman tayong gumamit ng iba pang letters. If you want to use A, B, C, pwede. Okay? So it doesn't matter what type of variable you use. What matters is you know how to manipulate algebra. Yan. So we already have the three natural numbers there. Tapos balik tayo dito sa problem natin. Ano? Sabi, the square of the middle number. So what do we mean by that? The square of the middle number. So alin ang tinutukoy dito? Yung m. Since m is the middle number. Kukunin mo daw yung square nun. So how do we translate that? When you were in grade 7, I still remember, we studied language of mathematics. How to transform mathematical sentence to mathematical expression, if you still remember that. The square of the middle number, so that can be written as m squared. The square of the middle number, so that is m squared. Tapos, next is, anong ibig sabihin ng is? Sa mathematics, ang is, that means equals. So m squared equals, the square of the middle number is. So yung is, ang ibig sabihin pala nun ay equals. You still remember that when you were in grade 7? The language of mathematics. Huwag nyo kinakalimutan yan. Ano? The next, 15 more than the sum of the other two. 15 more than the sum of the other two. So the sum, what is the operation involved if we are talking about the sum? Syra, if we are talking about sum, what is the operation involved? Is it addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division? Again? Addition, all right. So the operation involved is addition. So ibig sabihin, the sum of the other two. Alin yung other two? So the other two numbers, sum daw ng m minus 1 at saka m plus 1, 15 more than. Ibig sabihin, pag pinag-add mo yung dalawa, yung m minus 1 saka m plus 1, magdadagdag ka pa ng 15. So you write here, m minus 1 plus m plus 1 plus 15. So this is now our equation. M squared is equal to the quantity of f minus 1 plus the quantity of m plus 1 plus 15. So that's the translation of the mathematical sentence to mathematical expression. And then afterwards, we simplify it further. We combine like terms, no? So you will have m squared. You just write m squared since wala naman tayong kasamang m squared. Nag-iisa lang siya. So you write m squared. And then m plus m, that is equivalent to 1m plus 1m, that is equal to 2m. Okay? So if there is a variable we add the numerical coefficient. And the numerical coefficient of m and m are both 1. And 1 plus 1 is equal to 2m. Ibig sabihin lang nun, isang m, dagdagan mo pa ng isang m, ang sagot ay 2m. Then next, negative 1 plus 1, negative 1, dagdagan mo ng positive 1. The answer is 0. Okay? And then plus 15 is equal to 15. 0 plus 15 is 15. Then we already have m squared equals 2m plus 15. And now we simplify it. Kailangan 0 lang matira sa kanan ng equal sign. Ayan. Ito. Yung kanan ng equal sign, ito yon, ano? Dapat 0 lang matira dyan. So we have to transpose or we have to move 2m plus 15 from right to left. And how do we do that? Kung nilipat mo si 2m, magiging negative 2m na siya. Kung ililipat mo si positive 15, magiging negative 15 na siya. And that is equal to 0. And then, we solve for m. Paano natin masasolve dito si m? From the previous video lessons that I sent to you, you studied factoring. Ayan, factoring in solving quadratic equation. Naalala niyo yon, yung ating video lesson na sinend ko sa inyo? Naalala niyo siya? O walang sumasagot? Oh, thank you sa mga tumatango. Yung iba hindi yata nanonood ng mga video lessons. Okay, then we use factoring here. We factor m squared minus 2m minus 15. So, ibig sabihin, dalawa yung factor niyan. So, yung m squared, ang factor niya, m times m. Wait. Portion. Ayan. Kita yung screen? Alright, thank you. Ay, lumilipat. Share. Yan. Alright. So we have here m at saka m kasi the product of m times m is m squared. Now, we have to think of two numbers. Think of two numbers. You type in our chat box. No? You chat in our chat box. Ano yung dalawang number na kapag pinag-multiply natin ay 15? What are the two numbers that when we multiply, the product is 15? Can I see it from the group chat? Sige nga. Ano yung dalawang numbers? 3 and 5. Thank you, Samantha. Yan. Thank you. Yan. Ayesa, thank you. Thank you. Jairat, correct. 3 and 5. Danica, Kim, Karil, Joanna, Carmela, Lian, Teo, Racy, Dane Maru, Camille, Matt, thank you. Charles, thank you. Ariel, Don, Jillian, Hannah Grace, Lian, Joy, Jashlyn, Lorraine, Miriam. But the question is it only 3 and 5 are two numbers that when we multiply the product is 15? Meron pa, di ba? Pwede rin yung 15 and 1. But in this case, we'll use 3 and 5. Why? Because take a look at the middle number. The middle number is negative 2. So our last number is negative 15. Meaning yung 3 and 5 natin, dapat hindi sila magkamukha ng sign. Ano? Isa dapat dyan ay negative at isa dapat dyan ay positive to get a product of negative 15. Okay? So, alin ang magiging deciding factor natin para mag-decide kung alin sa dalawa either 5 or 3 ang magiging negative. Ang magiging deciding factor natin dyan, yung middle term. Take a look at the middle term. That's negative 2. From 3 and 5, ano dapat ang magiging negative? Because negative 2 must be the sum of 3 and 5. Ayan, ano? Pag inad mo yung 3 and 5, dapat negative 2 yon. So, alin dapat ang negative? Can I see from the chat box, alin dapat ang correct? It should be negative 5. Thank you. So, negative 5 plus positive 3 is equal to negative 2. So, ibig sabihin, dito sa factors, lalagay na natin yung positive 5, positive 3, and then dito naman yung negative 5. So, we already have the factor of m squared minus 2m minus 15. Since 3 times negative 5 is negative 15, negative 5 plus 3 is equal to negative 2. So this is the correct factor of the quadratic equation m squared minus 2m minus 15. And then we solve for m here. Paghihiwalayin lang natin yan, ano? So we both equate to 0. Ito, that's equal to 0. Yan. So m plus 3 is equal to 0, then m minus 5 is also equal to 0. And then we start with the first one. Yan. So we start with the first one, m is equal to 3. Ililipat mo siya doon sa kanan. Anong magiging sign niya? Magiging negative 3. And then the other one, m is equal to, lilipat mo sa kanan yung negative 5. Negative 5 will become positive 5. So we already have two values of m. Isang negative 3 at saka isang positive 5. So ano ngayon ang magiging sagot natin dyan? Is it negative 3 or positive 5? Please use the chat box. What will be our answer? Is it negative 3 or positive 5? Positive 5. Why? Because the problem requires natural numbers. Pag sinabi nating natural numbers, it should be a positive 1. Okay? So yung negative 3 is not a natural number. Definitely, negative 3 is not the answer. And since positive 5 is an example of natural number, then 5 is the answer into the question. So kung yung middle number natin ay 5, what would be the other two numbers? Please use the chat box. What is the other two numbers, or what are the other two numbers? Our middle number is 5. So the two other numbers are, please use the chat box for your answer. Let me see. From Ayeza May, 4 and 6. 4 and 6, correct. Ayeza. Okay, thank you. Sam, Charles, Joanna, Lian, correct. So the other two numbers are 4 and 6. So the three consecutive numbers are 4, 5, and 6. Maliwanag yung problem natin na yon. Can I see some heart reactions? Please use the reaction button sa baba. Okay, thank you for the heart reaction. Please use the thumbs up nga kung maliwanag. Let me see kung sino yung nagta-thumbs up. Ayan, 15, 23, 29. We are 44, so I'm expecting 43 thumbs up. Thank you, thank you. Maliwanag. Okay, so we move on to the other problem. Can you see? Will you please read our problem number 2? May I request Geraldine, Athena? Will you please read the next problem, please?
The length of a rectangular is 3 more than the width. If the area is 40 square inches, what are the dimensions?
All right. So this is another example of problem where we can apply quadratic equation, the concept of quadratic equation. So once again, isang tabi natin yung ating problem. Sabi dyan, since we are dealing with a rectangle, maglagay tayo ng rectangle para hindi tayo nalilito. So we draw a rectangle here, we draw a rectangle there, and then afterwards, yeah, so that's the rectangle. And then we write our given. Sabi, the length of a rectangle. Alin ba ang length of the rectangle? Ito, no? Yung mas mahaba. 3 more than the width. So mas malaki daw ng 3 yung length ng rectangle kaysa sa width. So ibig sabihin, maglagay tayo ng value ni width. Halimbawa, ang ilagay natin na value ni width ay anong gusto nyong letter? Let's use Geraldine. So that's G. Halimbawa, yung width niya ay G. Ayan. So ito yung width, oh. Ayan. And then sabi sa problem, the length is 3 more than the width. So that means yung G dadagdagan lang natin ng 3. So kung G siya, so here, yung width natin magiging G plus 3. Ayan, lumaki. Ayan, so G plus 3 yung length. So we already have the dimension of the rectangle. Ayan, we have G and G plus 3. And then, if the area is 40 square inches, what are the dimensions? Okay. So again, the formula in finding the area of the rectangle is what? Area is equal to length times width. So that's the formula in finding the area of the rectangle. Area is equal to the length times the width. Since we already have the value of the length and the width, and of course the exact value of the area, we can now substitute all those value. Ano daw yung area? Area is equal to 40 square inches. So you write 40 there, equals length. Our length is G plus 3. So you have G plus 3 and then times G. All right. Times G. So this is now our algebraic expression. 40 is equal to G plus 3 times G. Then we simplify this further. 40 is equal to, we do the distributive property, if you still remember. G times G is equal to G squared. So we write G squared as G squared. So G2 meaning G squared. And then 3 times G is equal to plus 3G. Alright. And then sabi natin dapat sa kanan ano lang maiiwan? 0. So ililipat natin yung G squared sa kabila. So magiging negative G squared yon. Ililipat din natin yung 3G. So magiging minus 3G yon. Si 40, hindi naman siya nalipat. So, same lang siya. Plus 40 equals 0. Pero ayaw natin ang may negative yung first term. So, para mawala yung negative ni first term, ito yung negative G squared. Para mawala yan, we multiply the whole equation by negative 1. So, mababago yung kanilang mga signs. So, magiging G squared. Tapos yung negative 3G magiging positive 3G, positive 40 magiging negative 40 equals 0. Ayan. Alright, so we already have the quadratic equation G squared plus 3G minus 40. And then we look for the factor of 40. Please use our chat box. Ano-ano yung mga factors ng ating 40, ng ating number na 40? What are the two numbers that when you multiply, the product is 40? Ayan. Please use our chat box. 2 and 20, correct? 10 and 4, what else? 20 and 2, correct? 10 and 4. What else? Meron pa. Ayun, may nakasagot. 5 and 8, correct. Ayan. 5 and 8. Si Teo, thank you. Who else? May sumagot pa ng 5 and 8. Then we have Maria Danica, correct. Kim, thank you. Miriam, thank you. Samantha, alright. So 5 and 8. Kasi bakit 5 and 8? Kasi take a look at the middle term. Ano? We need to have positive 3 sa middle term. So yung 5 at 8, alam natin pag sinubtract natin yan, meron na agad tayong 5 and 8. Okay. So we compute that. So ang una muna natin gagawin, we write two factors, then we equate it to 0. Then of course, the first factor contains g and the second factor contains g also. Since we have 5 and 8 as the factor of 40, negative 40, we have to decide alin sa 5 at 8 ang negative at alin ang positive. So in deciding that, we have to consider 3. 3 is a positive 1. So alin dapat ang negative? Ang negative dapat ay 5 at ang positive dapat ay 8. Kasi 8 plus negative 5 is equal to positive 3. Yan. So we already have this quadratic equation in factored form. And then after that, we equate these two factors to 0 to solve for g. Yan. So we copy. So g minus 5 is equal to 0. And then the other one, g plus 8 is equal to 0. And then g is equal to yung negative 5, dadalhin mo sa kanan. So magiging positive 5 yon. And then yung g equals positive 8 yon. From left to right, magiging negative 8. All right. Now, we have the two values of g, which are 5 and negative 8. It's time for us to decide now, alin ang magiging sagot natin dito sa problem. Is it positive 5 or negative 8? So it should be, ayan, thank you. May mga chat. Thank you, 5. Correct. 5 naman, ano? Positive 5. Bakit? Kasi wala naman tayong dimension na negative. Meaning, if the width of the rectangle is 5 to, what would be our length? So 5 plus 3, that is equal to 8. So the length of the rectangle are 5 and 8. So that's the sides of the rectangle. And when you check, 5 times 8 is equal to 40. So those are the problems where we can apply quadratic equations. Do you have any questions with that? Can I see some thumbs up kung naintindihan? Let me see some thumbs up. Thank you, thank you. How about the others? All right, so I'm seeing 31 thumbs up, 32, 33, thank you. Thank you, naintindihan. Now, since you already know the application of quadratic equations into the real life, I will be asking you to have your output. Okay, so your output would be this. Here is your role. Take a look into this. Your role is that you are the managing director for the manufacturing department of the #1 chocolate store in the Philippines. Ayan, mga managing director kayo. Ibig sabihin kayo yung nagmamanage sa lahat ng isang manufacturing department of the #1 chocolate store in the Philippines. You print screen this, and don't you worry, I will be sending you the link of this recorded video. And then your task, here is your task as a managing director. Gagawa kayo ng new packaging design for the newest chocolate product of the company. Gagawa kayo ng packaging. No, packaging na yung lalagyan ng chocolate, no, para sa bago nyong chocolate product. And then your audience, ang audience niya syempre, managing director ka, meron diyang mga board of directors at saka yung CEO. Ayan. So, ipe-present nyo yon, no? Ipe-present nyo yung inyong design. And then, ang materials ninyo dyan, ayan, a cardboard. Hanap lang kayo ng cardboard dyan sa inyong mga tahanan with measures 8 inches by 10 inches. Yung gamit na, and then turn it into box or any solid figure. Pwedeng box, pero pwede rin solid figure. But take note, dapat yung cardboard ninyo ay 8 by 10 inches lang. So ano ibig sabihin nun? 8 inches by 10 inches. Yun lang ang magagamit na cardboard. And then you may also use coloring materials and other recycled materials tulad ng plastic wrappers. Yan, ano yung meron lang sa bahay ninyo. You may use recycled materials. Do not buy. Okay? Do not buy materials for this project. You use recycled ones. And then your output should be a 3 to 4 minute video of how you make your chocolate box. Ibig sabihin, habang ginagawa niyo yan, makita niyo yung materials, pakita niyo na habang ginagawa niyo yan, I want to see you doing the box. And paggawa na siya, you justify your design. Hawak-hawak niyo yung finished product o kaya nakapatong sa isang table as if